How do you handle when Amazon splits your shipment? Example, I was sending 26 books in, Amazon split the shipment to 25 in a box and 1 in the other box, increasing the cost of shipping. So there's two ways to basically do this. You can elect to, I forget what it's actually called because I actually don't ever use it, but if they actually split it up, you can elect to put it all in the same box and they will charge you for that, okay? So you really need to figure out what, I forget what that's called actually, because like I said, I never actually use it. It's basically just you elect to send them all to the same FBA warehouse and they charge you a fee for, electing to do that. You can do that in the back end of your Seller Central when you're actually initiating an FBA shipment, although I, like I said, never do that. So that you have to kind of weigh out whether the increase in shipping the one, obviously it's annoying to be like, hey, there's 25 going to one prep center and one item going to the other. So like, what's the point? Why can't I just put the one in the 25 box and make it 26? You have to weigh the options on like, okay, I'm charged like $5 for the 25 box and like $7 for the one box because maybe it's going further across the country, right? And add them up and then factor in, okay, but if I pay for, and it's gonna depend obviously on how many you're shipping into different places or how many are actually in your shipment, which if you're shipping to like 5 different places, it's probably gonna be more expensive to ship to 5 different places rather than electing to ship them all to one and just paying the fee, right? Although if you're just shipping to 2, often it can be cheaper to just ship to 2 warehouses instead of choosing to ship it all to 1, right? So you really need to weigh each of those options and decide which is cheaper for you, depending on your shipments and depending on which FBA warehouses and where you're sending them to, okay? Now, because I don't ever actually elect to do that, what I basically do is that happens to me all the time. And if you still actually, and you said you're sending in books, so your margins are probably relatively high with those books. If you still factor it in, let's say that hypothetically you said 25 in a box and 1 in another, so that's 26 books in total. Maybe you got charged, let's go higher. Let's say you got charged $8 to ship, the 25 books in to one place, and you got charged even $10, right? Even $10 to ship that one book to California if you live on the East Coast, or maybe to the East Coast if you live on the West Coast, or whatever it is, right? That's still only 18 bucks that you're paying to ship 26 books in. So if I pull up a calculator really fast, it's still very, 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 very cheap per product. So your margins aren't really getting cut into really at all, okay? It's annoying, I'll give you that. It definitely annoys me too, but it's really still cheap. So it's gonna cost you a little bit under 70 cents per book to ship those in, and that's very, very cheap still. So that's why I always recommend, like when you're estimating your profit margins, either go 50 cents to $1, because that's and if you want to be more conservative, always go $1, because that's pretty much going to cover any costs like that. And and if you for whatever reason go a little bit higher where it breaks your shipments in, then obviously you've already estimated that, right? But $1, it depends on what books you're shipping in, obviously, but $1 or 70 cents per book, your margins are still gonna be very, very high. So that's my short answer. Another better answer for you, if you don't wanna obviously elect to send them all to the same prep center for a fee, or you don't want to approach it like I just said, is wait to send more books in, right? So if you have 26, wait till 50, right? Or wait till 100 and just, get a bunch of inventory and save it up for like 2 weeks and then send it all in together as like 100 units or like 50 units so that, hey, if they break it up to multiple prep centers, then it might be like 20 per one prep center and then like a 10 for the other and then like 5 for the other. And then it's a little bit more justifiable to ship, 10 units to one prep center instead of just one, okay? So I hope that helps, Ricardo, but that was a great question. I get it, it's annoying, but your margins, for my guess, would still be relatively high. So I wouldn't really worry about it if that's the case.